Peace, Karika. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm doing okay, LJ. Thank you for asking me. How are you?
The sun is shining, so I think my serotonin levels have increased a little bit. Yeah, so I know it's been a minute since our last session. Tell me, tell me how you're feeling. You called today and said you needed a session. What's going on?
Well, LJ, I'm having some mixed emotions today. What's going on with me is that yesterday I broke up with my with a guy that I had been seeing since November, and
Mm,
I find myself in moments having moments that I get teared up and I feel emotional about it.
mm,
And we've been seeing each other since November, but however, it's just been a very stressful relationship for me. And today I felt um, like I don't know, like I guess I could like what I'm gonna do with my time now.
mm, Well, you did say that you're having a lot of emotions and everything you're experiencing right now, the tearing up, the mixed emotions, that's normal after going through a breakup. Let's unpack your mixed emotions. I know you said you teared up and you've been experiencing some sadness. What other emotions are you feeling?
Well, I just like I find myself last night he came over. I allowed him to come over after breaking up with him over the phone, and I felt like I really didn't want to do it over the phone. But the
Hmm.
relationship isn't beneficial for me. Like it's just causing me a lot of stress, and then a lot of more work than what I want to more work than I want to give, and I'm not being like he's not reciprocating the love that or even the time that I'm pouring into the relationship. And so I allow him to come over last night, and I expressed my feelings to him about like he's just not emotionally there for me. And whenever I do go to his home, I'm constantly cleaning and cooking and basically serving him.
Hmm.
And I don't want a relationship like that.
Hmm.
Yes, he does. He cooks sometimes, but it's like he's emotionally like he has no emotions or like he doesn't show me any feelings or anything. He's just like cold-hearted.
Hmm.
And so what I was feeling is like the absence of his presence, not calling me. I mean yeah, like not calling me not going over there or vice versa. And so normally we call each other probably every hour on the hour or every 2 hours or 3 hours checking in. And I think I got used to that. And so I was going to the grocery store and I found myself getting like teary-eyed about the situation. But I don't want to accept his behavior and I don't want him back in my life. But however, he called me today and said, I meant dinner. And I'm like, I haven't responded to it, but I don't want him to come over here for dinner.
Okay. Um, Well, you did just say a lot right there. And what I heard is one within the relationship that you just experienced is that you were not experiencing the emotional nurturing that you needed from this partner. And you expressed that to them. And so therefore you ended the relationship because you were not receiving what you needed out of the relationship. And with that being said, now you're saying that you're experiencing the aftermath of a relationship ending, such as the loneliness, and missing that person. Um, when you miss that person and when you feel that loneliness, what have you been doing that brings you joy?
Well, it is less than 48 hours. I think I just been basically, I did do some journaling today and I wrote down the way I felt about, um, it's almost a sense of freedom, but and a release. But at the same time, I really like that person, but I just don't want him as my mate. So what I've been doing is just pretty
Mm,
much just trying to filter out my feelings and to not get too emotional about it, but at the same time make the proper decision because I can't entertain him.
right, right.
I don't want him to come, I don't want him to claim the status of me being his mate.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I think that was the other part that I wanted to circle back to too, when you said you don't want him coming over to your house for dinner, right? And after breaking up to him, what does boundaries look like for you moving forward?
Mm. So I've been a woman all my life. I really never had set boundaries. I
You
know,
said
right?
you've been a woman all your life
And
and
I've
you
never
never,
set boundaries for myself. And
what is the
this is
core?
kind of like, huh?
Oh, I didn't mean to cut your wisdom. I just wanted to understand what is the correlation between being a woman and and not having boundaries.
Well, I didn't say that I didn't have any boundaries, but I never active, like I never really set boundaries
Mm,
with myself or with other people.
mm,
And I know I've never had like I don't know. I've never really set any boundaries. Like I was married to my high school sweetheart. We were married for over 20 something years. And I have just been like pretty much of a servant to my marriage.
mm,
And I think like I've never really had boundaries.
mm. You you use the word servant a lot. That was what you expressed and why you broke up with the part with your partner this time. You said, you know, I don't want to be your servant. And then in your marriage, you just described that you were a servant in your marriage. Can
And
let's I just want to sit with that for a second. Mm,
pretty much that's what I've been doing um, all my life is like really kind of like been serving others and not myself. And I've come to the grips that I want to pour what I've been pouring into other people, like my family, and I want to pour it into me.
mm, and pouring into you, what does that look like for you?
Um, kind of like nourishing myself, um, just just um just like just being me and loving on me and doing the things that I want to do in life. Yeah.
Mm, okay, okay. Mm, yeah. You're experiencing a lot right now, you know, and with what you're experiencing, it's okay that you're experiencing an array of emotions. So
Yeah.
just take a moment, you know,
Yeah.
it's okay. It's a moment of release. It's a moment of release. Mm. You want to breathe? Want to take a few deep?
Sure.
Come on, let's take a few deep breaths. All right. And breathe in, hold, and breathe out. Be empty for a minute. And breathe in, hold, and breathe out. Be empty for a minute. And then go ahead and breathe on your own. All right. How you feel?
I feel good.
Okay. All right. Now, now that we're grounded, um, yeah, again, anytime you end a situation, you're always going to experience like an array of emotions in the aftermath. Happiness with the decision because you finally did the decision, right? You finally did the breakup. And then you're going to experience sadness and some unpleasant feelings too because you are used to calling them. It's like now you're getting out of the habit. You had formulated a habit of calling this person. So now you're going to have to start creating new habits within that free time, and that's an exciting thing because now you have some freedom to really think about what you want to do that brings you joy, so that you can do what you want to do, as you just expressed. Where you said you don't want to be anybody's servant, you want to be able to do what you want to do. You just gave yourself that open space to do what you want to do. So I think I would encourage you to give yourself some grace too within this in this moment, and really just feel all of the feelings that you're going to experience because it's completely natural and normal with what you're experiencing. Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
I know you said you talked about the boundaries, right? And you were saying that you haven't really set boundaries before. Why do you think that you have never set boundaries?
I was trying to figure that out, filter that out myself. Like why
Mm,
I think for just I've I've just like I kind of was like molded into not setting boundaries.
mm,
And I know that sounds really, I don't know, but I was kind of molded into not setting boundaries, but to be more of a servant and to be more submissive. And
mm,
and so me at this point in my life, um, choosing to follow my goals and dreams have required me to challenge myself and to explore setting boundaries.
mhm. Okay.
And it has been um uh I wouldn't say I find myself um being more by myself because of telling people no,
Mm,
or
okay.
I'm not able to do that, or I don't feel like doing that, or I'm not about to extend myself to that extent.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a different um it's a different it's a different vibe for me,
Mm,
but enjoyable at the same time.
mm. You said you were molded into being subservient, so to speak.
Right.
Um, and what I'm hearing you say is that you're now breaking that mold by saying no.
Yes.
Okay. And then how do you feel when you say no now?
I feel good. I feel I feel great about it, honestly. Let me get some tissues.
Okay.
I feel fantastic about it because it's like I'm finally having a voice of my own. I'm
Mm,
being able to explore the Karika inside of me, the woman that I need to be in life. And so um to to discover that and to experience me is amazing.
okay.
It's just sometimes I wonder why did I wait so long to do it?
Mm, mm. That's powerful. Right. So you're saying that now that you're starting to say no, you're recognizing the power that you've had all along, and you're wondering why you never did this before. Um, I'm curious, just again, circling back to you when you said you were molded, how were boundaries handled in your family growing up?
How was boundaries held in my family growing up? Mm.
Handled, I guess. Yeah, handled. Mm-hmm.
Well, I I would say my mother was a very strong woman. She was I don't know, like my father was in the household with us,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like the main provider. And so but my mother enforced the rules, if I could say that. Like she was the enforcer in the house. Like
Mm-hmm.
she pretty much, my dad really didn't say much, but my mother pretty much ran the whole house.
Okay.
So when boundaries were like, I don't know, when we were kids, we didn't have any boundaries. Like you couldn't set um I don't know if I had that opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what I'm hearing is that growing up, you were never really taught how to set boundaries uh, within your household or with your loved ones. So when you ask yourself, why haven't you done this before? Do you believe that you were ever given a chance to set boundaries before? Or have you ever recognized a chance to set boundaries?
Um no, I wasn't I don't think I was ever given a chance to set boundaries. Is that what you're asking me? Can we pause this for just 1 second?
Mhm.
I'm gonna pause it.
Okay. I know you were curious when you asked yourself, like now that you've discovered this brand new freedom of setting boundaries and saying no, and how you feel empowered from doing it, you asked yourself the question, why haven't you done it before? But listening to what you just said about the fact that you were never really shown or taught how to implement boundaries from childhood, that is most likely why you're not able to, or you have the hesitancy, or you have to learn how to implement boundaries now in adulthood.
Right. I would say that.
Mm,
Because when you're a kid, like when I was a kid, I had to share everything. Like you were taught to share. Like
mm,
it's, pretty much in Christianity, we were taught to give your last, they have a saying, like God likes a cheerful giver.
mhm,
And so basically that's how I um pretty much lived my life, and it didn't have
mm,
like the only way I had boundaries was if it went out of my code of ethics of living, like if it didn't meet the principles of Christianity.
okay, okay,
So I'm kind of like renewing myself in the process.
right, right, right. Mm.
of adulthood.
Mm. And so, as you're going through your renewal, how does that make you feel in this moment now that you verbalized and you hear the fact that you're setting boundaries, you're feeling this empowerment? How do you feel right now?
I feel great. I feel it just make me kind of like reflect on like and I have like a sense sometimes I question myself like why didn't I do this sooner? Like
Mm-hmm.
but I try to enjoy here and now
Mm-hmm.
and focus on um the moment of life that I have here and um and work myself to where I'm at, where I want to be in life.
Mm-hmm.
So the answer is like I feel great about it. Like I feel good. I just wish I would have started it. I wish I would have had this mindset 10 years ago or 20 years ago.
uh, And now, I mean, I can understand, but in this, I still want to encourage you in this moment to give yourself praise that you have this mindset right now in this present moment, like what you said. Um, so, with your boundaries and with you recognizing saying boundaries and the power of no, what are you going to tell your boyfriend about or your ex-boyfriend about coming over for dinner?
I don't want to lie, but I was going to be like, oh, my brother's coming up. So I don't know. But I don't want to lie to him. And I'm just going to tell him I don't think it's good for us to spend time together, quality time, because I don't want to entertain him, period.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
don't feel like doing nothing with no cats. I don't want him to come over my house. I don't
Mhm.
want to watch a movie with him. I don't want to do any activity with him because I don't want to be his entertainment.
Mhm. Mhm. You know, Proverbs 4:23 says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. So, uh,
That's good word.
I think you gave your answer already. So again, I think we should, for next steps, we should just focus on continuing using the power of no, as well as setting those boundaries in this aftermath of this breakup, especially when sometimes you can be vulnerable because you do feel lonely.
Mhm.
So at least you're staying true to your feelings because you could have easily been like, come on over because you were feeling lonely, but you didn't. So, yeah, so give yourself that praise because you're doing an amazing job at handling everything.
Thank you. Thank you.
And yeah, so I look forward to discussing all of this in our next session because we are coming up on time, unfortunately. So, um, yes, yes.
Thank you
We,
so much. I really appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you next session too.
I have a good one.
You too. Be great.